Hello, Rocks. This week we've got the indomitable Kelsey Peeples, who's one of she's our second visual artist on here. Badass photographer. We're going to talk about her and everything in the photography world. So sit tight and hear from our sponsors here.
The podcast is brought to you by Still Austin Straight Bourbon Whiskey. This is a new rye blend called The Musician, first in a series because music has the ability to bring us all closer together, to make us feel more free and alive, just like great whiskey. Still Austin, owned locally, distilled in Austin, 100% Texas.
Yes.
Brandon lived back here for about 10 years.
Okay.
So I moved in the front house in 2005. And I've had other weird little neighbors that live behind me. Brandon was my last weird neighbor.
Yeah, I know. It's hard with neighbors too. Luckily I have like a long driveway.
Yeah.
So it's like, separates it because everybody's always like, how does your neighbors not hear your house? Because, like even when Eric Sharp and Mason, they still lived here. I would let them bring over their mixers and everything.
Oh, yeah, you got some EDM parties and shit over there.
I know, and it's like, everybody's like, how are you getting away with this? But I think it's because my driveway is so long that it separates it, from the street. But, yeah, I know, definitely people.
This guy next door is really my only neighbor. Like, the people across the street, I think they have a cult or something, so they leave everybody alone, and nobody else can really hear me, so, like, Brahms is not going to say anything, so...
Yeah, no, it's like, you jam at night, or like, as artists, you always create at night, most artists I know that is, so, but that's
everybody in my bands are old, so we're done by like 9 o'clock now, we gotta watch Matlock and take our Centrum and go to bed.
I'm ready to start getting on a good sleeping schedule. I don't know if that'll happen, I'm like, seriously, most of my editing, happens, my best editing happens from, 1 in the morning to 4 in the morning. It's crazy, but...
Do the same thing in here, so like when this thing's done, I'll be up till 3 o'clock in the morning working on it.
Oh, yeah, no, because you're excited about it, too. You're like, oh my gosh, I gotta finish this, and... I was actually talking to one of my friends. I was like, when you get on a creative role, you have to, keep on doing it. Yeah. Or, that moment that it happens, because, the next 2 days I might just be like, bleh.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to edit somebody's photos whenever I'm, not feeling it, because then it's not going to turn out good.
The concept of deadlines. So you have deadlines,
yes,
I'm sure,
Yes.
And it's a little fun, because I usually set most of my own deadlines, and I'm a vicious procrastinator.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Kobe and I were just talking about this because I had a boudoir session earlier, and he's my set designer. I've trained him for 2 years now. He's my second photographer now. But
Did you say Kobe?
Yeah, Kobe. Yeah.
Kobe
Havens.
Yeah, that was up there last night?
Yes,
okay.
Yeah, he's my best friend. And he lives with me now, too.
Oh.
And
you're not making him wait in the car, are you?
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah, he was going to come, but he's actually making some more sets, setups for our Halloween boudoir shoots.
Oh, nice.
So he's working on all those, and we were always running around last minute, finishing the last retouches, that we could have done before. But it always turns out better because then we're under pressure. And we're like, oh my gosh, why didn't we think about this?
Where do you set these up at?
So these are in my guest bedroom.
Okay.
At my house.
Okay.
So I've always had a lot of girls ask me for them, so I would go over to their house.
Yeah.
And over the years, I never really posted too much of them because. Whenever I did, there would be a bad rep about them or something,
Yeah.
And I'm like,
The
it's
creeps,
art, okay,
Yeah.
It's art, and I make sure everything's, very appropriate, that I post, but, over the past year, I had so many girls asking me, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to set this up in my house because, most of the time it's for weddings. They don't want to do them at their own house. They want it to be a different look than their room. So it's been really cool. Kobe and I started doing this last October, and he's literally blows my mind. I'll give him an idea and buy the stuff, and I have to leave because it stresses me out whenever I see him change the whole room. But it's always mind-blowing. But he has completely recreated that room like 8 times now.
Oh, that's cool.
And it looks different every time. It's crazy.
Okay.
But other than that, like, I still, like, you know, of course, shoot families, babies.
Yeah.
Not newborns, because I'm too nervous. I haven't had a baby yet, so, like, I'm too scared to touch somebody else's baby.
Yeah.
But I still will, like, if there's a parent there, you know. But it's mainly families, weddings. I've photographed over, like, 80 weddings now in my life.
No kidding.
Yeah, so I started taking wedding photos when I was 18. And I never thought, like, the first wedding I ever did, I was like, no way, I will never do this.
Yeah.
No way. Like, I would be a second photographer, and then over the years, now it's like, that's my main thing that I get hired for. I'm also, because I've owned my own business for 5 years, but I also work for Starlight Canyon Bed and Breakfast.
Oh, no kidding, huh?
Yeah, where they have the cabins.
Yeah, well, yeah. So, Adrian, because of our schedule flip around, I had Adrian Amarillo on last week, and she goes out there every Wednesday. Okay. Hillary puts those shows on Wednesdays, and Adrian goes out there and paints whoever's playing.
Okay, so is that Starlight Canyon, or okay, not
the bed
and breakfast.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah. So that's what. So the Starlight Canyon Bed and Breakfast is actually, it was originally going to be the main entrance to Palo Duro.
Right.
So it's like, you know, you go down under.
It's in Timber Creek Canyon.
Yes. And oh my gosh, Liz and Nate are incredible. Like, I've worked with them for like 4 years now. Yeah. And, you know, I started getting busier over the years, and they're like, we don't want to lose you. And I was like, I don't want to like leave here either. But now Forrest Jorgensen, he's actually my second photographer out there. Oh. So I can still take, you know, the dates that I can work, you know, and I don't have to leave them. But it's, I don't know, it's awesome. But
so how does that work? You have a second photographer, so like, does this guy like fly a flag under your flag and he takes photos with? So
I let him know ahead of time, because they'll let me know the dates, or be like, hey, you know, and if I don't have a wedding booked myself, I'll go and take it, you know. If I don't, I'll ask him. And now I have Kobe as my third, you know, but Kobe's working under like me now, so. We actually worked our first wedding together. He did incredible. First time I taught anybody to use a camera. Yeah. I never thought I would be able to, because it was kind of hands-on for me. Right. You know, so to get to the technical side, because it's so natural for me now, I can look at my camera, look at the lighting, and I'm like, you know. But it taught me a lot, like, teaching him. So he's been doing it, though. I'm really proud of him.
What's your main camera that you use?
My main camera is a Canon 5D Mark IV. And I have a Canon 5D Mark III, but I'm like, technology is so expensive. Yeah. I'm trying to get the Canon R or XR. So Sony has made mirrorless cameras. Now Canon has. Yeah. And at first I was like, gosh, I would have to buy all new lenses, but they make those adaptable, like, you know, things now. So I'm like crossing my fingers that hopefully by the beginning of the year, because I've been doing video work now.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so I was like, which I'll have to show you. Oh gosh, you're gonna really enjoy this video.
Let's talk about that. So on the music side of things, didn't you, or did do a music video for somebody?
Well, it was like it's a small little 30-second clip, but I modeled for the same guy's music video in Dallas. So he ended up flipping it. Derek Porterfield actually. Everybody look at me! Yeah, he actually directed and was the videographer for the music video.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that I ended up going to Dallas for. And my friend Andre, which is a photographer, he modeled in it with me. So it was like really comfortable, you know, because at first I was like, you have to act, you know, and there was so many times I'm awkward, and I was like, okay, we have to redo this, you know. But it taught me a lot about that too. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't even imagine acting like in a video, like actually talking, because it was just mainly movements. But the same artist, he ended up contacting me 2 weeks ago.
Was the TikTok guy, the guy that saw TikTok?
Yes. And he was like, hey, who's that guy that models in photos with you? I was like, oh yeah, Kobe. Yeah. And he was like, I love that Arizona shoot that y'all did. And he was like, would you mind asking him if he would be in like a 30-second, kind of like a preview to his new song?
Really?
Yeah, so I'm like really stoked. And we ended up going.
What's the guy's name?
His name is Todd Youngblood.
Todd Youngblood.
Yes, and so he's singer-songwriter, and he's living in Fort Worth, Texas right now. But Kobe like killed it, and the way that Todd like was like, hey, will you he was like, I need like a dirt road, truck, cigarette, just gave me some keywords, okay? And I was like, okay, I grew up in Dalhart, so I'm like, call my dad. He just got done redoing or like refurbishing this Chevy truck, 80s Chevy truck. And oh my gosh, like I was like, Dad, we have to use it, and he ended up letting us take it out on the farm. We got all the clips perfectly. I mean, it was so cool,
man.
I'm excited to
I didn't know
you
did stuff like that. So.
It's been like my side thing, but I think I'm starting to grow confident enough to show it more now, And actually TikTok has helped me out a lot. Even
Man,
it's so crazy.
So YouTube, people making a living off of YouTube. People make a living off of TikTok now. I mean,
kids, 13-year-old or 6-year-old kids. It's nuts.
The cats that they play video games for a living. I mean, that's a real thing, dude.
Like showing
what am I telling you for? You know this. But.
I know. Do you play video games too? Yeah.
Well, no, I work in the streaming space.
Yeah, I know. I mean, seriously, social media. People are always some people are dissing it, but I mean, there's really good things out of it. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing without MySpace.
Yeah.
Honestly, back in the day, that's whenever I would just take photos of myself. I borrowed my mom's camera, set up tripods. I've always loved fashion photography.
Right.
That's what got me into it. And I would just be I liked the weird fashion, of course. I always have funky clothes. And I would just have this idea or look at magazines and go out there and people would be like, hey, can you take a new profile photo for me?
Yeah.
And I would be like, really? And they're like, throw me $20. I'm like, what? I can make money off of this, So it all started from that.
That's fucking
so
cool.
Crazy.
Let's take a quick break for just a second.
Yeah.
Leave it running. Anywho, where were we? We were talking about the shoot in Dalhart, video shoots.
Yes.
So if this is something that you're going to do, making a living on TikTok and all this other stuff, obviously every band in town is going to want to talk to you because everybody wants video shoots,
Yes.
So for a lot of musicians, I'd say we're poor, but we spend a lot of money on stuff.
Yeah, artists too.
Yeah.
It's hard not to buy fun stuff all the time.
So on the production side, so you handle all the videoing.
Yes.
And the framing, unless someone gives you a storyboard or something.
Yeah. So for instance, when I even started making my own videos, I would write down keywords okay, what I want the lighting to be because lighting's very crucial in photography, videography. What I want the set to look like, clothing, even.
Yeah.
And so whenever I talked to Todd Youngblood, I was like, okay, what do you want? He was like, cigarette, dirt road, truck, Kobe, wearing the hat, the get up, and Kobe's great with fashion, so I just let him do it. He killed it. And I don't know, I was very happy with it once I got all the clips. I mean, we got clips for probably about 2 hours, till the sun was going down.
Right.
The golden hour lighting was key to it. And I started screaming. I was like, Kobe always hears me. I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, this is it,
Go.
Yeah, because it's so many cuts,
Yeah.
But I've learned with video, you have to take it, cut it, take it, cut it, because if you just have this long frame, it's you're going to be going through it forever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm you got to redo it again. And then you have all these other cuts that you can use for other things, though, too.
Yeah.
Which is cool. So it's
trying to get into
extra.
that. We're going to make a little stinger for the show, and I'm wanting to take a whole bunch of clips from our shows here and put like a fast little 30-second thing.
Okay. Yeah,
with
just
some background music.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you use Adobe Premiere? Or
I don't have it right now. I'm using NCH.
Okay.
Which it's
Well, I was like,
Windows.
Adobe used to be like, hey, you got to buy the whole thing.
Yeah.
Now you can pay for it monthly.
Yeah.
Which is really cool because like sometimes I will just quit it off if I'm like, okay, I'm not going to be in the video mode, especially whenever I get into like wedding season. I'm like, no, I don't got time.
Hey guys, just in case anyone's wondering, I would love a product sponsor from Adobe Premiere.
Adobe bugs me a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to have the whole suite for work.
Really?
So.
Do you do audio editing too?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do. I have to have Audition, Premiere, Photoshop, and Illustrator for work. Not that I use all of them.
I've been curious about Illustrator.
Illustrator, yeah.
You're like.
I think if you like doing graphic stuff and like.
I've always wanted to because I want to put my drawings into my photos.
Yeah. And there's like way more. You can manipulate things a lot on Illustrator. I'm on the video side. That's video audio is all I really do.
See, that's when people ask me, I'm like, I'm strictly like Photoshop, Lightroom right now. Yeah. So,
what do you use Lightroom for?
So Lightroom is my favorite, like especially the update now.
Everybody says that. I fucking love Lightroom, but I don't get it.
It's so. I started using it whenever I went to the Art Institute, and so like I was only using Photoshop before then, like here and there, but I had like this other, gosh, I don't even remember, but it was something I didn't have to pay for in high school, because I wasn't.
GIMP or something like that.
Yeah, something like that, and. So I went to the Art Institute and they were showing me Lightroom. Well, I didn't really get it at first either. Mm-hmm. And over the years, and now the new update's incredible. But I love it because it's easy to go through every photo, especially weddings. I go through them, recrop them, pick out the ones I want. Mm-hmm. And now I have all my presets that I made myself, which I've always thought about selling my presets. I've heard that photographers do that now. So I was like, I have my own little like names to all of them and I'll go through them and it helps with wedding. It's like a really good flow. Yeah. So it's like quick, easy, not quick because, editing always takes time. But presets, like you always have to like, do the little extra, but it'll always like stay like in the flow, like same style, So you're like, okay, cool. I like this preset for this. For the before ceremony, and then you have another preset for the next one, and it's easy to recrop, re-edit.
You ever thought about teaching that?
Now that I have been teaching like Kobe and like my friends kind of like how to do it, like I think I could. Yeah. It would be cool. I've always wanted to be a kid's art teacher.
YouTube,
so I'm like,
you could do that.
Seriously, because I mean that's what taught me a lot. Like I always tell everybody, like not just in school or anything, but I definitely learned a lot off of YouTube.
So people, there's like a broader education, I think, from doing things hands-on almost than there are from academia or any type of paid classes. I mean, like the hands-on stuff. A lot of employers are looking more for guys that have experience now, so much than education.
Exactly.
They want you in the field.
See, and I'm a hands-on learner. Like I'm like, okay, I got to be there. And like see it, like kind of explain it. But like if I watch somebody doing something, it helps tremendously. Because I can't read a book, or those books that are like over Photoshop. I'm like, okay, I don't like I don't know. I'm like I don't know. I need pictures or something. I'm a visual artist, of course. So I totally get that.
So you got a website, Instagram.
Yes.
YouTube page, I guess?
No, I don't have YouTube. I have a Vimeo, but I haven't posted. I actually do have 4 videos on there, though. One is really cool. I'll have to show you it, too. Yeah, it was actually about 3 years ago. My sister is in it. She hoops, flows.
Oh, yeah.
So it actually starts off at, it starts off in, my backyard to New Mexico and, ends in Colorado. But I have I have different moody shots and it goes with this electronic song music to Charles I, amazing DJ, and there's this part that there's a spider outside of my window and I got this awesome clip and it goes with the beat where the spider's walking and everything. I'll have to show it to you. But
we can put it on here.
Oh yeah, I know for sure.
Window type
I'm like there's so this year I've traveled so much, which I'm very blessed. I'm like, that's what I don't know.
Were you in Mexico like last week or something like that?
Yeah.
I was like, that's why you can do this last week.
Yes. Yeah, I went to Tulum, Mexico too at the beginning of the year. It's been like random how everything's happened, but I'm like, go with the flow, and I'm like, my credit card's not really happy with me right now. It's okay. I'm still paying it back, you know. But
that's living the dream,
well,
though,
it's
man.
just like it's not bad. Like I haven't bought the tickets going there, but it's like at the end of the trip, you're like, dang, traveling's expensive.
Yeah.
But it's always worth it, like because I know, like I'll be good. But yeah, I ended up putting together, like I've been working on it since the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
So I have this video that's like from the first trip I took at the beginning of the year in Arizona, and then it's going all the way through, like, so February all the way to August now, and it's clips of everything.
Oh, wow.
So it's going to be like all my travels.
Like timeline type thing.
Yeah, I don't know what song I'm going to use yet. I'm still debating, so I guess it would be a couple, because it might be like 3 minutes, but you know, but it's
I want to ask the obvious question here. What's your favorite kind of music?
Oh gosh, that's a hard one. It depends on my mood. I'm very...
Because I associate you with like electronic music.
Yeah, I love electronic.
Festivals and shit like that.
I grew up with 80s like rock. Like,
your dad.
I actually went to Motley Crue last month with my dad. Yeah, and I had like Motley Crue, AC/DC. But I also grew up with like Fleetwood Mac. I've seen Stevie Nicks, like Fleetwood Mac in concert. Yeah. So I love that. Depends on my movies. I also like indie alternative, as well. That's why I'm always like, it depends. Like on the day, but also if you've never heard of Tycho, they're my
but I don't know.
I've heard
from you actually.
Yes, every day listening, like when I wake up or when I go to bed. If I'm mad, sad, anything, it's ambient, chill. I don't know. It's beautiful though. But
it's cool to find music that feels like you.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Completely. And I love that, like. My friends, like, even that live across the U.S., wherever, they're like, hey, I just heard Tycho, and I thought about you, and I'm like, yes, so, because there's always music music's very powerful.
But where's this guy from?
So Tycho. So it's an entire band, okay? So I would recommend listening to Awake. I couldn't tell you actually where they're from though, honestly. Yeah, sorry. Oh, wait. But I love them. I've seen him 3 times. But yeah, he's an incredible graphic designer, photographer. So actually very inspiring to one of the videos I want to show you. So I'll have to like write you some little notes before I leave, so you can like kind of compare it like side by side, and you're like, okay,
yeah, I mean, I want to tie all that stuff.
Yeah, she got inspiration.
It's cool to know, like Adrian and I were talking about, and you and I have talked about it, how what's the circle? There's like, what did Adrian? She was talking about the pre-Raphaelites and that period where, like, I guess maybe it was Victorian era, where like the musicians were inspiring the visual artists, and it was just like this, like, it was like the bohemian type thing where there's like just circular creation. I kind of hoping we can do shit like that with the podcast too.
Definitely, like, I don't know if we're on the same track, but like that's a lot of like musicians to photographers to videographers, like even how Derek Porterfield and I have been working together because I modeled for that circus video. And he was like, yeah, it's really cool because, like, you give me a different perspective. He gives me a different perspective, you know, and it's like, it's full circle, like all of us can come together and help each other in so many ways,
Yeah, that dude came up, and he's going to be on the show in a couple of weeks.
Oh, I love him. Yeah,
Porterfield's a cool guy, man. He wrote like a kid's book or something like that. And,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's got all kinds of stuff he's done,
He's so funny. Like, and it was awesome to, like, be able, it all started with that circus video. He was like, there's a circus in town. He was like, I know you have wild wigs, like crazy, like, you just like wear whatever you want, And he took me to the circus, and we got some clips. We ended up going into the circus. I ended up getting asked to go out like on the stage, and I was like, oh my gosh,
really?
Yeah, the clown kissed me. It was weird, but it was weird. I was like, what is going on? It was interesting, but it was so funny. But the whole video turned out so sick. And he ended up taking photos off of my camera and I edited those.
Yeah.
So it was really cool. And then 2 weeks later, Todd was like, "Hey, who's that girl? Like, bring her to like be in the music video." And he was like, at first he was like, I wanted her to help me with the video because I was gonna help him with the video, and then I ended up being in it. But it was really cool.
Where do you want to take this? Like, I mean, you've been doing this, so this is you chasing your dream.
Oh, that's a good question.
Is there a long game? You playing it by ear? I mean, you know.
Honestly, I guess I'm a person. I don't really have too much expectations. Like, I have goals, you know.
Yeah.
But like, I don't want to expect too much. I kind of want to just keep on going with it because I'm very blessed where I am right now.
Right.
You know, so I'm like.
It's good to appreciate that stuff.
Yeah,
too,
I'm like, I don't know. I like even last week, you know, like when I was on my trip, I was like, I sat there and I was just like, I cry a lot sometimes. Like, it's just happy tears though too, you know, like being here now, and you know, I'm just like, I'm very happy with how everything is, you know.
Yeah, man.
Like, and I'm very blessed, like, for my parents, like my mom inspiring me and always teaching me to be myself. Or like, she was like, you know, like, figure out like what you want to do.
Supportive parents are so important, dude.
Oh no, it very much is. And my dad has been like a huge supporter, you know, and he's like, oh no, it's awesome. Like, you know, this year I ended up getting hired. I got a call from the Panhandle Plains Museum, and they're like, hey, we saw your Instagram. Would you like to shoot the Panhandle Plains, like all of it? And like, I didn't even ask them or anything, you know. And I was like, super cool. And then my dad's like, you know, like, text me at night, you know, and I'm like, that's when I cry again. And he's all like, I'm so proud of you, you know, it's cool.
Man.
Like, you know, it's like one of those like heartfelt, and I'm like, you know, it's cool. Like, I never thought like my like hobby would become my career, you know.
It's such a blessing, you know. My fiance Kat is, you know, we're gonna start pursuing a horse type business. I can't really go into details of it.
Yeah.
It's a unique type business, but you know, she's finally getting to do what she loves, and you know, having the studio, having the show, you know.
Yes.
It's so cool to see these things come from out, you know, getting your band off the ground, you know.
Making things happen,
Yeah.
the magic,
Yeah.
you know. Seriously. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I mean, seeing y'all like always like play and like the support, it's like, no, it means so much.
We got a cool scene, man. We got a cool art scene.
Oh my gosh.
Great music scene.
I always am telling everybody, like, I'm like, seriously, I've met the most supportive artist in Amarillo, Texas.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not kidding. Like, I mean, it's like love. Like, you feel the love,
Oh, yeah,
you
man.
know? And I'm like, everybody has even been like, hey, are you going to like move? Do you want to move? And I'm like, oh, it's like my home base now,
man.
you know?
Yeah.
I have my house, I have my home base, I have my friends here. I can leave whenever I want, you know, and go travel, but it's like, I don't know, I definitely have found like a good home here.
Yeah, dude.
You know?
Amarillo's like smack dab in the middle of the country,
oh
too.
my gosh,
So
yeah.
you know,
Yeah, I mean,
anywhere,
we're like,
you know.
especially we're right by the mountains too.
Yeah.
Like, and to be close to family, you know, you realize the older you get, you know, it's nice. And my sister's here now, which my sister is a hairstylist and a makeup artist. Gotta shout her out. Beauty by Tatum.
Beauty by Tatum?
Beauty by Tatum 806.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm so blessed that she lives here now. Which that's another whole thing. That's a goal that I have pushing towards. Now that I've been doing boudoir, like fashion, editorial more, she's an incredible hairstylist and a makeup artist. So our first main collabs, we've collabed before, but we're going to start the main ones in October. So we have like a whole, like I'm going to do mini sessions. So she's going to have different makeup and hairstyles for everybody. So I'm excited to see what she comes up with.
That's awesome.
So
Younger sister, older sister?
Younger.
Yeah.
Yes, 4 years younger, but everybody thinks we're twins. Like we talk the same, we laugh the same, everything. It's so crazy. But it's cool because I'm a photographer, she's a hairstylist. We both come together to make stuff happen.
Get on a movie set, man.
I know, seriously. That's how I'm. Okay, another goal. What we're
It's
talking
not
about.
on Baldwin set, by the way. Don't do that.
I'm like, I don't know if there is if anybody knows of a spot, I want to find like something that's decently priced, but it might be a few years from now, but where we can have like, set up like costumes to her doing the makeup inside, like having the set scene, building like, I don't know, downtown's probably pretty pricey right now. everything is. Yeah, that's what I was like. Everything is.
Man.
But it's, I'll manifest it out there.
My buddy Brian, he's a psychotherapist, and he inquired to what office space in the Maxwell building was going to run. It's $26,000 a month for a 1,400 square foot. That's the Maxwell building, mind you.
I'm like, I'm happy I got my house when I did. Like, because I've had people from Big Spring that know my cousins, but my aunt was like, yeah, contact Kelsey. Maybe she knows. They're like, we can't find anything around here, not even like rental houses. And so it's, I told everybody, Amarillo's gonna pop off. Like it's the time of year.
The space above lit is available right now.
Okay.
The upstairs.
I didn't even know there was.
Yeah, there's a big. So Perfect Peach was up there for a while.
Okay.
And it's basically set up like an office. Now it's like 6,000 square feet.
Okay.
Sitting upstairs and those guys.
Okay. Do you enter it from the back?
So yeah, there's a door in the back that locks, and there's a freight elevator, and there's a staircase.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I never even knew that.
It's nice.
Awesome.
Real nice.
Heck yeah.
The downside of it is like at night, the noise from the bar. So all of our speakers and lit are mounted to the ceiling.
Oh, okay.
And so like noise goes upwards. It drove Shelly nuts.
See, I don't mind music. Or I'm fine with it. But that would be something to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know how much they are running? Like,
I have no idea.
Yeah,
I asked Beanie about it for Brian. I think they need to, cut it up into like 3 or 4 chunks and make an office, just a reasonable office up there. Parking's kind of a shit deal downtown, though, as you know.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I feel like any downtown, like any city I go to, it's like hard.
It'd almost be cheaper to take an Uber to work and back instead of parking downtown.
Oh my gosh, exactly. Do they have parking for you?
No.
Oh, that's
no, I've got parking tickets I've never paid. But I got a couple of them.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm very, it's cool to see downtown grow because I go down there often, I've lived here 8 years now, so it's like seeing how much everything's changed. And I love the art on the walls finally, down there, like the painting murals,
You going to do any shots at the Hoodoo Festival?
So I'm going to be out of town. I'm gonna be in
Florida. Are you really?
I'm going to be in Florida. Yeah. But shout out to my friend Kaylee.
Yeah.
It's our friend anniversary. She's a photographer as well.
Okay.
And we've done, I don't know if you ever saw our mermaid shoots.
I haven't, no.
Yeah, I know. We have the fake mermaid tail. And I have made the mermaid crowns. Yeah. Yeah, which I made Forrest Kobe to make them with me 5 hours before I got on the plane. And I was like, we have to have them. And we're hot gluing all these seashells on her crown. But I'm very excited. I don't know what we're gonna come up with this time, but I'm excited to create with her.
I always wondered if you got 2 photographers in the room, if they just take pictures of each other. Or they just pull out their lightsabers, come out
oh my gosh,
of the lenses.
It's nonstop. When Kaylee and I get together, and now that Kobe's shooting, it's Tavia, Amanda, and I were hanging out the other night. Kobe got off work, and I was like, "Can you take pictures of us? We're gonna get ready." He's like, "Fine, okay, let's do it," And then he comes up with we're setting up disco balls. It's just nonstop. Our minds are in 50 different directions. That's fun. But it's fun. I enjoy it. It's like playing dress up.
You do that in music too. You try not to look like you weigh 400 pounds on stage. So,
y'all are always kicking ass. So I always enjoy watching y'all play. I'm always trying to make it, Yeah. And then most of the time I'm shooting a wedding or, I have a late shoot or something now, but I always try to make it as much as I can. It's always fun. I always enjoy it. Yeah.
It's a cool problem to have in that we all are doing shit.
Yeah.
But we all all the creatives are friends. I've not really met very many creatives here in town that are fuck all these other people making shit. I'm the only one who's supposed to make. No, we're all just hell yeah, keep making shit. Yeah. So we're all busy, and we can't all go to everyone's
never see each other's shows,
It's I'm there in spirit. I was just, that's what's great about social media too. You can just hop in, see it for a little bit or something. Still feel like you're there.
Yep.
Good evening. It's intermission time. Our service is friendly and quick.
Welcome to Savor, Amarillo's only tapas bar. Our urban chic atmosphere invites locals to step outside Amarillo for an evening and into another place entirely. Now open 7 days a week with brunch from 11 to 3 on Sundays and a kitchen that stays open until close every night. Savor, 7669 Hillside, Suite 600.
Back headlights.
Yeah, my dad was like, I'm stoked to get content of the truck, you know?
Your dad and I could hang out. I already know this.
Oh yeah, no, my dad's the coolest. You would love him. Next time he comes to town, I'll tell him.
Yeah.
I'll be like, hey, come meet up.
Well, I mean, it's gonna be cool because, like, you know, he's gonna see you on like YouTube, you know,
Yeah,
a Spotify video.
And I already told him that I was gonna be on a podcast today, and he was like, can't wait. So I'm gonna send it to him.
Awesome.
Yeah, but and the focus too on my cameras.
Oh yeah.
And then,
so does the camera do that shit automatically? Like my phone does it a little bit. But
I'm touching the side. You know, that's why I need a stabilizer, because that's why it's a little shaky. But I'm like touching where I want it to focus.
Yeah.
But wait till I see the photos.
You see these cats that are shooting videos and making movies with iPhones?
Oh yeah, the new cinematic.
Yeah.
The new feature is absolutely insane. Like.
The camera on his phone's got a killer camera. It's like these modern phones have these killer amazing cameras, but they still can't quite touch what that fucking iPhone does, man. That cinematic. Have you seen this shit?
Oh yeah.
Dude.
I recorded the sunrise when I was at the beach, and I was like, oh my gosh, like the quality is perfect. Like it knows exactly where it needs to be. Like
I've noticed with my phone, after having it for so long, the quality degrades a little bit.
Yeah.
Just
filling
up my phone and
course.
stuff.
Yeah.
But like every iPhone I used to have, I never really ran into that problem. So iPhone, as much as I'm like not like, I've been on the Google phone for like 4 or 5 years now, and I love it, and I don't ever plan on going back. But there's a lot that Apple does still that's
oh my gosh, seriously though. Here's some of the shots that I got of Kobe. I haven't posted them yet. Just like different edits. But there's like a specific one. Let's see, it's down here. And this is actually out at my family's farm. But yeah, I was like, oh my gosh.
Man, I do some design work for a buddy of mine, and I did some country road stuff like this. I mean, I got lucky on it, but it was like it published on a book cover. You know, I designed book covers for Barbados Books now too.
Oh my gosh, so cool.
You know, we need a photographer, so I might put you in touch with Travis.
I would absolutely love to. I have a lot of people like come to me for like, they're like, do you make album covers or like album artwork? And I'm actually making one for Todd Youngblood right now. But even certain photos I take, they're like, hey, can I use this for something? You know, and I love that because it goes hand in hand with fashion photography, like magazine stuff, you know, and that's like what I have a vision for is like the setup, you know, and everything. So
this is what I love about getting into like talking to visual artists. It's because I mean I've by proxy I've been doing this for a while, making my own posters because I had to, you know, and I got into Photoshop and editing, and I started getting into like real heavy edits and doing fun stuff like that, and
it's never ending, you know.
Man,
it's
I
I
have damn near as much fun making the poster for a show as I do playing the show, you know. It's like you creating the hype for something, you know.
Exactly.
Like painting a picture of what.
It's much nicer when you get to make it yourself, because then you can kind of set the tone for what. Because like if we get put on a poster that someone else is making for our show, and it's like some weird, like when we were on that Lindsay Lane show, like the people who made the poster, it was very much like a Lindsay Lane poster, and like so what our representation on that poster was not indicative of who we were,
right?
Or any sort of show. I've gotten to a point now where I like to control what I'm making, and putting out just across the board.
Exactly. Because you have the vision, you know, and like bringing that whole vision to life, you know. Completely.
And you kind of have to do that. Like you were talking about MySpace, and I think MySpace, because you and I are close
Oh yes,
and so we grew up with like MySpace taught us like the DIY scene for social media would prepare us for like right now.
Yes.
There was no stakes back then. There was no money to be made. But if we wanted people to know who we were or see us.
Oh yeah, it's like seeing like layout, like what you want to put out there, what you're just saying.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm not gonna put all my stuff out, and if I did, oh my gosh, like I have way too much stuff.
Right.
Nobody's gonna ever see all my stuff, you know, there's no way. But you want to post like what you believe is like, like I know this is good, this is what I want people to see. Yeah. You know, like basing your
the show posters to me, that was always, when I was a kid, that was the excitement. It was like, oh shit, you know, you'd see a flyer, man, you're like, oh, it's gonna be awesome, you know. And back then, you know, we used to like cut newspaper words up, make them look like ransom notes, you know, and then make photocopies of them. It was all hardcore, and it still is exciting to me. Like, I still like to drive around town. I like to put posters up around town, go to tattoo shops, you know, places like that.
It's raw and real, and it's like what made, like, you know, music, like walking by a poster, you know, and you're like, oh my gosh, yes, you know, like it's the hype about it, you know. It's different than seeing it like online. Like, I love how you said that, because even when I was last in Denver, I make a lot of mixed media pieces. Yeah. And we were about to get in the Uber, and I saw this mermaid on this poster for this band, and I was like, okay, I'm running back and getting it, and I like ripped it off, and Tatum and Dallas were cracking up at me. But I was like, I love like keeping posters, like it's so awesome, I love it. I know. Definitely. That's why I was like, I was checking out all of this.
These are shows that I had either designed the poster or it was a show of mine, you know. It's
so like cool.
And so I've been thinking about this. Let me ask you this, Remy. I'm kind of wanting to put together a coffee table book of Amarillo show posters.
Yeah, you were telling me about that, yeah.
Dude, you know, like this and the book's going to be 11 by 17, you know?
I got a perfect coffee table book.
Yeah. I think it'll just be rad. Just a big, just show poster dates, you know?
Yeah, I think you should definitely.
I think that would look rad, man.
That would be so sick.
I've got every single one of these backed up on a cloud drive, you know?
That's so important.
Yeah.
That's what I
have like 4 hard drives and iCloud.
Oh yeah.
Everything. Yeah.
I had to buy Google One so I could keep storage of all of my stuff.
Oh yeah.
So now I'm paying for Google storage. But all the posters I make online, like all saved, they back up to Adobe. Like Adobe offers a backup. So like all of my stuff.
You have to have that second little backup.
Boy, that's how they get you though.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's how they get you.
I'm having to pay like almost $70 a month anyway because I have to have everything.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I have to have like it's like almost like $60, 65.
Yeah, mine was
for
probably
the
about
whole suite.
40.
Yeah. For the whole suite, it's about $60, and that includes like your Adobe account and being able to back up your stuff.
Yeah, you got the little extra with the Illustrator and stuff. Yeah. So it's like, because Lightroom, Photoshop, that's $20 a month. Then Premiere is $20. So it's around 40.
So is the new Photoshop worth it? Because I've got CS6, man. I've had it for like 8 years, and it does everything that I ever would need it to do.
Well, if you're comfortable with it, I would just say stick to what you're doing. You know?
What is the new CS offer? Is there anything like out of the? I mean, like, is there anything amazing about?
I haven't heard about
Photoshop.
So CS.
Like the whole, like I think the biggest appeal of having the Creative Suite, like the new one, is that you're paying monthly, so you can like. And you have access to. For me, the nice thing about it, I'm getting an echo in my ears. The nice thing about what I have is because I only use about 4 programs, but by paying like it was like $60-something, I have access to nearly the entire Creative Suite. So that's what is it? Dreamweaver. It's Lightroom.
Oh wow.
Like Audition. All the web design.
Dang, so you have knowledge on all of this.
I don't have knowledge of all of it. I just have access to it.
Okay, I was like,
if I want to ever I can.
I still give you props, but I'm like, dang, dude.
But see, and that's what I'm getting at. It's like, so this is going to crack you up. My version of Adobe CS I got from Hastings. So like Hastings,
I miss Hastings.
Dude, I do too.
Oh my gosh.
But, you know, like when they closed down, I just ganked all this fucking software, man. Like,
that's good.
Do you remember how much you paid for the like actual physical copy of Photoshop?
Well, ours is a little different because we had not photo. So we had our entire CS suite. At that time was for 300 seats.
Okay.
So it was like $10,000.
Okay, yeah.
But you know,
that's half the appeal too. Is you're only paying $60.
Yeah.
And where like if you're gonna, a decade ago, if you're going to buy Photoshop, you're going to drop like $200 for
Yeah,
the software.
that's exactly.
That's right.
Instead, I'm paying $60 a month, and I get everything.
Yeah.
Which I think is dumb. I hate this.
But that includes updates and all the other stuff.
Yeah, you get all that stuff with that.
Updates are very crucial.
I still think updates are kind of where they get you though too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know.
It's always kind of stressful whenever they change a bunch, and then you're like, oh my gosh, like you know.
Yeah.
But it's same with now, like after over the years having an Apple like laptop, updates are very important unless your computer just drags because it keeps it up to date with like technology in a way because technology is constantly changing, you know. But it's like, oh my gosh, like I didn't think that at first. In my laptop that I ever first had from Apple, I never updated it, and it was like it just went to crap. Like it just got so slow, and it's like I backed up everything, whatever. But I'm getting better about like cleaning out my computer, and stuff. Like it's like, okay, I'm not gonna keep RAWs to all this, and also with my hard drive.
And RAWs are.
Oh my gosh, yeah, no, insane.
Like this thing will shoot. My phone will shoot in RAW. Like so, like this phone will shoot in. It'll do 8K video.
Oh,
it's fucking insane.
8K video.
Yes.
That's insane.
I don't even have anything that I can play 8K on. But this is. So this is the S21 Ultra, right?
What?
This is even last year's phone. So like this is. Have you ever seen any of my moon pics with this thing?
Okay, I've seen a couple. Yes,
dude, it's like this thing. You can see the moon. You can see all the little butt nipples on the moon.
Too one time of the sun. Yeah, because I was like, oh my gosh, I drove by that. Like I was right there, and I wanted to get out of my car, and I regretted it, but I was so glad that I ended up seeing that you.
So you do that too? Do you like there's something I've got to stop. I've got to take a picture of this.
I took like 3 photo shoots that day, and it was like. I could have just got out of the car for one more shot, but it's like sometimes it's like, damn, dude, I have so many I mean, alone, I got this phone probably like 5 months ago, and there's already 4,000 photos on it.
Oh my god.
And it's like I don't keep like all of it. Like that's just like I take photos of like everything. I mean, it's just part of me, so it's like it's hard.
Because you appreciate when you see something, you kind of frame it up a little bit, and you don't know if you'll ever see that again. You're always afraid that you won't ever see that again.
I feel like it's like the moment too. Like I'll even like look back through my photos, and it's like, just like this moment, like with me and my cat, like this stuff that it's raw that like nobody else is gonna see, or like like moments with friends, and I think that's what I always loved about photos, like growing up, like when. My dad actually recently ended up had somebody turn all of our VCRs into DVDs when we were kids, and it's like I think that's why I started wanting to get more into video, because it's like even more like I don't know, hearing people to like seeing the emotion.
Isn't it weird? It's like a time capsule, man.
It was very emotional, like very emotional. I've only been able to.
Mom, stuff like your mom.
Yes. So it's like
I can't tell you how I used to have a bunch of VHSs of my mom and I when my dad he always had one of those big camcorders.
Oh, he's like, hey, come on, let's do this. Yeah.
And so when I moved and when my mom passed away, I found like one tape, and it was they adopted me when I was a baby. So they had a video of my first Easter with them. And there's a video of like her holding me.
Wow.
It was like the only video I had, it's the only voice that I have of her anymore. And so that's like
I was gonna say the voice.
Hearing him again, after they've been gone.
It makes them real. It's the same thing. I didn't know we were all in the same club. I lost my mom a couple years ago too. So
shout out to moms.
Shout out to moms, man.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Hey. No, it's very true. That's what really got me. At first I was just watching it, and then it was like that moment that I heard her voice, and it's like. It's not like I forgot it, but it's like I haven't heard her in a long time.
I know, dude.
And it's like right then I was like, and it's so I sound just like her though too, and that's when I realized a lot though. Over the years, I'll say something, I'm like, whoa, I just sounded like my mom.
Yeah.
I mean, we're a piece of them, but it's video, to movement, to photos. I think it's very important, It's about capturing that memory. you know, good or bad, you know, people come and go, and it's wild to see that too, you know. It's like, you'll see this moment, like, me, like, capturing wedding photos. So, like, family photos. I've been on a lot of families' lives for, like, 8 years. Like, I've watched their kids grow up, you know.
Oh, man.
And it's, like, mind-blowing. It's
and
so
you were the one
mind-blowing.
there.
I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm close to 30 now. I was like, you're not supposed to be 8. Like, you know, it's like, whoa. Like, you know, like, and I'm just like,
Let me tell you something, man. It just keeps getting weirder and weirder.
My dad was like, I know you want to hear it. Whenever I said that, after 30, it's like, oh, no.
My oldest kid is 32, so yes.
Wait, so you have a kid that's my age?
Yes.
Were you 32?
Yeah.
I never asked for your age. I never asked for
She'll be 32 in October.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Gosh,
Nice.
And Brianna will be 29.
Yeah, but she's a year younger than me.
Yeah, she'll be 29 next year,
Which she always supported my photography too.
Oh, she fucking loved it.
I
I told her that I was having you on the show, and she went, bah!
I love her. I love her. I remember she would always call me and be like, you're so pretty. I'm like, you're so pretty.
Yeah.
But I'm like, those are my OG, like, you know, fans. Like, she knew me, like, when I lived in Dalhart, you know?
Yeah.
So,
oh, yeah, because she's from Channing.
Yes, so that's what, it was really cool. Like, super cool.
Here's a funny thing that happened to me recently. So, like, when she first started kind of coming in, hanging out, going to clubs and stuff like that, everybody knew her as Thule's kid. But, like, as the years are moving on, like, people are starting to know me as Bree's dad. Like, that's Bree's dad. What's his name? Yeah.
You're like, this is switch around.
I don't hate it. I don't mind it, you know?
Yeah, oh, she's amazing. Oh, super cool. I'm like, tell her. I'm like, she was one of my, like, OG, like, fans. I always remember her, like, commenting on MySpace, like, and I'm like, oh.
Shout out, Bug.
Yeah. Hey, love. Super cool. Super cool. Okay, can I go pee real quick?
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna have to cut that.
Let it run.
Want to get that taste of early French Quarter New Orleans? Come out to the Drunken Oyster, Amarillo's only absent bar with a full Cajun menu, amazing steaks, salads, burgers, po' boys, gator, crawfish, to name a few options, and an amazing authentic Cajun vibe with live music and brunch from 11 to 3 on Sundays. Drunken Oyster, 7606 Southwest 45th.
I love it, yes. And should I turn back on the mic?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So, 2 weeks before my birthday this year, I always said after I lost Hendrix, I was like, I'm not going to get another cat unless it's a boy tuxedo cat. Like, not like saying that. I mean, if another cat came in my life, okay.
Yeah.
And I felt it. But it was 2 weeks before my birthday. I never really go to PetSmart that much, but I went to go to Ulta, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to get Chella, Isabella, my other cat, some treats, you know, chicken, Kobe's dog, some treats, and I look over and the local shelters have their cages out, and I see a tuxedo cat, and I was like, oh my gosh, no way. And so I go up to it, and I was like, if it's a boy, I get it, and now I have him. His name's Sebastian, off of the crab, off of Little Mermaid. But I call him Seabass.
What you cool,
I call him Seabass for short. But it's so wild. He acts just like my other cat. Like, I just was right at home. Like, I just let him out of the cage, and it's so wild. It's so wild. I was like, I think, it was like a gift, or maybe, I don't know. Or maybe it's a part of Hendrix.
It's funny how it works, man.
It's wild. I think animals are definitely gifts. They're blessings.
Oh, yeah, man.
They teach us a lot.
I now have 5 cats, a dog, and a horse. So.
Oh, I love that. See, I'm like, I want a pig in my backyard so bad.
Yeah, we were talking about getting some. We're still. You can have, I believe, 2 goats in town.
Oh wow.
I'm really thinking about getting a couple of goats in the backyard.
My friend Tavia has chickens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Across the street have chickens, dude. I heard it the other day. I was like,
and they go up to her and everything. They love her.
There's a rooster across the street from BJ's apartment.
Oh, is it really?
You hear it every morning?
Dude, when I go walk, I have to watch his dog every so often, so I'll take him out to walk, and I hear this rooster.
I'm a little worried about that, because when I heard the chickens, I'm like, I hope they're like in a, chicken coop and not running around the yard, because
This guy right here, fuck those chickens up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he's ready. He's ready.
Yeah. Like nothing messes with the Nuketown.
I love him so hard. Yeah.
I'm going to put this one in the frame right quick.
Yes, yes.
And I'll zoom in on it in post. And I might scan this one.
Yeah, go for it.
And that way I can just throw it like a digitized version of it in the frame.
That was definitely.
So when was this one done? It was badass.
So that was 3 years ago. Okay.
How'd you do the hover?
So, oh my gosh, it was 30 miles per hour wind that day. I already got ready, everything. I already put my makeup on. I had this costume. I got it off of Amazon.
Yeah.
I actually got the shoes in Santa Fe. They're actual creepers. Yeah, and they were in my size. I was like, what, at a thrift store. And I went to go get the balloons blown up at United, and I was like, okay, I'm ready. Got my tripod, my remote, and I'm starting to drive. And like, of course, our weather in October stinks. Sometimes, being a panhandle photographer, it's tricky. And I was like, okay, I got this set up. It's just like blowing like crazy. Okay, so I'm like halfway through this shoot. I end up getting some of these shots, and I don't even know if like any of them are gonna work out.
Right.
And I still wanted to go to other spots, so like I ended up getting this one, and a few others, and then right then I needed some more because I'm gonna have to like cut in balloons to like have them line up, because I mean the balloons, there was no way I was going to be able to get them like all lined up.
Just a reflection.
So so that's actually the building. It's down Polk Street.
Okay, so
so it's that red wall down Polk Street. But so I'm like, I needed more shots. Well, my remote dies, and I'm like, no freaking way, dude. Like you can't like do the makeup the same. Like So. For this one, for this shot, so the remote, actually, I dropped it in my hand for this one. Well, my friend Forrest Jorgensen, I'm shouting him out, he ended up helping with a few other shots, so I was able to get, like, the placement, So I was able to get, like, everything squared up, because I'm sitting on a stool, essentially. So that's why I'm able to, like, so he helped with the very end shots.
Frame and then... Photoshop it out?
So I took a photo of the wall, and then I took a photo of me, so that's, and then I needed a few more shots where the balloons were actually like, because it was just so windy that day. Yeah. I mean, they're going everywhere. So I ended up calling Forrest, and I was like, dude, just help me with like 2 more, and he's my second photographer out at Starlight now. And he was like, okay, I got you. So he ended up meeting up with me for the last few, but there's like a whole series to this one. Nice. But yeah, that was definitely one of my favorites.
That's fucking cool, man.
So I have different visions. It goes in with my fashion photography. I'm like, hey, I have this idea. I have a whole journal at my house, like of ideas and ideas.
So this one's so this is a forest scene.
Yes.
Where's that at?
This is outside of Red River, New Mexico. Yes, so I took that a couple years ago, and that was actually placed in my nature book that I made for my family.
Oh, look at that's a chance. It looks like a place that you'd get lost in.
Right, it looks like a little fairy.
It's all pretty in the daytime, and then at night, all the monsters come out.
Right. It's like just here's another one. I love abandoned buildings.
Oh, that's badass.
Yeah.
That's an abandoned.
Yeah, so whenever I was living in Fort Worth, at the Art Institute, they let us go to Ranger, Texas. It's an abandoned town, and I happened to walk by this window, and it's golden hour lighting, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to get in there. So I hopped in the window.
Did you really?
Yeah, I hopped in the window, and it's a bunch of old law books. So I have.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, so speaking, if you're gonna hold this really quick,
sure.
I'm gonna show you. In this portfolio, I took different. Okay, here's all my abandoned stuff, but I'll show you. So yeah, here it is with with the books that are all laid out on the table.
Oh, that's fucking sick, dude. They're even like...
which is so cool because it's like everything's just been sitting there.
Just where it was left.
Yeah, and I love how it's like still like new looking right here, And it's just all like...
Oh, man, they have some of those like abandoned buildings. I follow a couple of accounts on Instagram that are like that. You know,
gosh,
abandoned after dark and places like that. Man, there's such cool shit out there. You know.
Here's this was actually the first school in Dalhart. They have it tore down now.
Really?
But yep. And I have that on.
That's cool.
Oh yeah, a little tub in a house. That was in Ranger, Texas.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's fucking cool, dude.
Yeah.
So like this book that you put together, I mean, dude, you could get that published, like a coffee table book or something, you know? Well, hang on, man, get your mom in the frame. Let's.
Oh yes, shout out.
Mom,
Mom.
Yeah. I'm gonna scan these. And
always huge inspiration to all my photography, my art, everything. Yeah, very blessed.
Yeah.
Very blessed.
Kelsey.
So I ended up, whenever I did this photo shoot of her, she was like, it was right before I moved to Fort Worth, and she was like, hey, she's like, I want to do like a Stevie Nicks photo shoot. And I was like, okay, I got you. And it was actually, it's called like Hobo Alley in Dalhart. It's kind of like the Hobo Hills or whatever in Amarillo. Just like a bunch of like trees. And I was like, oh my gosh, we have to go there. Which I've done, I used to do a lot of photo shoots in that little area because I always loved abandoned or like scenic. And you know, like Dalhart, you know, we have the canyon or that, you know, there's not much besides, which I love fields though too, but I'm very blessed that I was, you know, she was always such a huge inspiration to my photography, always like pushed me like, yeah, do it, go for it. Yeah. She had a funky style too, you know, like we can go from rocker to bohemian, you know, whatever. But,
man.
yeah.
Shout out moms, man.
Yes, shout out to the moms.
So, you got any like art shows coming up? You got anything you're doing new coming up, or?
I hope
you do stuff like that.
I hope to. I'm like right now, it's wedding season, you know. So I'm about to be like, you know, here and there a lot of living on my computer, which I enjoy it though completely. Yeah. But hopefully by next year, I hope to have I have my little side gig, the Vibe and Strawberry. Yeah. And that's where I sell my mixed media paintings. So I hope to like create if I was to have like a booth or anything, I want to like be able to take somebody's photo and then like recreate it. Yeah. And like put my drawings into it, or you know, kind of start branching both of my ideas, you know, or like art together, you know, my mixed media to my paintings to Photoshop, you know, and photography. So so I hopefully, I don't know, I haven't heard of anything going on yet, so but you know, keep me in the loop though.
I will, you know, I mean, well, hang on, do you ever do any shit like the fair? You ever do like enter photos in the fair?
And I haven't yet, but
dude, the fair's coming up in like a couple of weeks, man. I think it's not a bad idea.
I want to do a photo shoot because I miss Wonderland. I had this idea. Well, I actually photographed with my friend Ashley last year, but we're both off on Mondays. Like that's my editing days. Yeah. She's a hairstylist. That's her free days, and Wonderland's closed on Mondays. So we did a cool one last year, but like we used outside of the gate, which it made it a cool like aesthetic. But I'm like, I want to get the lights like holding cotton candy, you know, something like that. So it's in a few weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
It's like
I'm gonna totally.
September. Yeah.
Travis is playing the fair.
Is it really?
Yeah.
It lasts like a week, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna mark this down.
Yeah. The fair drains money out of this town, but you know.
Travis is playing like.
So they have stage and everything?
Yeah, they have like live music out there.
Oh yeah, no, you ever been to it?
Where's it at? No.
Way out at Tri-State Fairgrounds at 10th and Grand.
I used to go to the fair like in Fort Worth, you know, like when I would come to
you
town.
Check it, dude. You probably have a lot of fun at the fair.
I love I love all that. I'm like, okay, so now I have to call my friends tomorrow and I'll be in these shots now. I'm like, that sounds so much fun. Yeah, I love it. Like the whole the lights, cotton candy. I already have costumes in my mind, you know.
Fried cheese, pickles on a stick.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, all
dipped
the
in ice cream, whatever.
Yes. No, that sounds so much fun. I'm glad y'all brought that up because that gives me a few weeks to plan things. Yes.
Right on.
I think we're gonna wrap this up here.
Yes, no,
Dude,
thank you.
You know, we've been friends a long time, and we've talked about doing this for a long time, and I'm really happy that you came on to do the show with me.
Very blessed.
You know, and I love your artwork. We're gonna put all your data out there, and
yes, and same. I'm gonna be sharing this too because y'all are huge supporters, and I'm very blessed to be on here. So, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Much love.
All right,
much love.
All right. We're going to do...
oh my goodness.
And Nuketown is...
he's just taking nappers. My gosh, look at that smile.
Amarillo rocks. Wipe front to back. Close your browser history. And go check out some live art and some music.